Well, hello, everyone. We are so excited to do this presentation for you guys. As you guys know, Practice Better just started in integration with ClaimMD, and we have the fortune of hanging out with Christina Lombardi, who is a rock star dietitian with an amazing group practice. And she has actually been I've been watching her do this from the beginning with Practice Better, and we're just going to give you guys an overview. Remember, we can't do a lot of the functions because of HIPAA, and I don't know how to blur the screen. So it's more of my IT issues, but I'm going to let Christina take it away. And the first thing she's going to tell you is we're recording this May 2nd of 2024. And you've been using this for 2 months. Can you just give us like an overview of your thoughts so far? You've used Practice Better from the beginning with Office Ally. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've been using Practice Better since probably 2020 with Office Ally. And I recently switched, as you mentioned, a couple months ago to ClaimMD with the integration. And it's just making everything a lot easier for me. I do all my own billing. So it's just the process of integrating and them speaking with each other makes everything so much more time efficient, a lot easier, a lot less confusing. So it's just really great.
Awesome.
Honestly, and like Office Ally, I really just didn't like it all. I felt like it just cost me a lot of time trying to figure out and working in there and downloading and uploading and finding the files. So
Absolutely. And a lot of money. So just to talk a little bit about the price point. So I just want to make sure that everybody is aware that if you're using Practice Better, it is the cost of Practice Better plus Claim MD. And Claim MD has some different options. They have a $25 option where you're not, it's kind of submitting at will. They have one for $50, which is probably most appropriate for most dietitians. And then Christina obviously has the $100 plus that gives you 100 claims plus per month. So basically unlimited claims.
yeah.
And then to compare that against Practice Better, Office Ally. Office Ally, just to clarify for everybody, is $39.99 per user. So if you have and it's like $39.99 per unique MPI. So if you are a group practice owner, you want to just kind of run the numbers and just see if they make sense. So and for many practice owners, it is a much better fit. So far so good and cool. So can you just briefly talk to us, or if there's, I don't know if there's anything that you can show us in terms of like what was it like setting up Claim MD like on the back end?
It was really simple. I could actually share my screen
Sure.
and show you some things on the ClaimMD side.
Yeah, that would be great if you can.
Okay.
And take your time.
Where am I? Okay. Hold on. Okay. So it's super simple to set up. You basically have to set up your account with ClaimMD, put in all of your information. They do have support for you and support tickets that you can make that they respond to very quickly if you need help with anything. The main thing that you have to do to connect to Practice Better would be in your settings, you have to create an API site key, which is at the bottom here that I highlighted. I already created mine, but you basically create it. And if you have a group practice, you have to remember to add it to each provider in your settings in Practice Better, or else you're only going to get the program speaking to each other for the provider you added it. So that was one thing that I didn't do in the beginning. And I was like, why am I only getting claims for myself and not everyone else? And then they quickly answered me and told me to do that.
They quickly handed us our butts. Perfect. Awesome. Super
So
easy.
to show you where to do that in Practice Better, you would just go to your settings and then go down to third-party integration. And then here is where there's ClaimMD is here and it's already linked. So you would just hit link on your end and add the site or whatever that key is, API.
Yeah, API key. Perfect.
And then here at the bottom left of Practice Better is where you would change your providers and select a different provider to add the key.
Oh, perfect. Oh my God, it's so helpful. So helpful.
Yeah, that was one thing that I got stuck on.
Super.
And then besides that, it's super simple. You also just need to make sure you enroll everybody into your ERAs so that it is speaking and that ClaimMD is getting the ERAs back from the
Yep.
insurance. So that's
Yeah.
pretty simple too. In here, you would just set each person up. You really only need to set up, I don't know, one of my companies, Blue Cross Blue Shield, for some reason has each person separate. So I only had the group set up to receive ERAs, but all of them weren't coming through. So I had to do each separate one for Blue Cross Blue Shield for some reason.
Mhm. That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome.
You want me
Awesome.
to do
Awesome.
this too, or no?
No, because yeah, don't even worry because they
Okay.
have to just put in their NPI and all of that stuff. Perfect. Yeah. So cool. So far so good. It's fairly simple, not anything crazy. Would you be able to just walk us through like submitting a claim, what that looks like?
Yes. So there's a bunch of different ways, if you're familiar with Practice Better, to actually submit claims. I made a test profile through myself. So I personally, so you could do it a couple different ways, which I like is super simple. If you don't have many claims, like going through your schedule calendar, looking at it this way, may be easier for you, but you basically would click on the appointment and you can click here where it says insurance claim, create claim, and it would just pop up,
Mm-hmm.
which is an easy way to do it, but I wanted to show you a different way too. So that's one way to do it. I personally like to go to the bookings for my practice because I have a group practice. So I'll go day by day and do my booking. So if this was not filtered to just myself, it would be all of the services that we did today in here. And I just run through the line and do it. But this is how I like to do my claims. So you would basically click these 3 buttons on the bottom corner of the appointment and click create claim. And then whoever performed the service. And then all this information is already in the chart. You've already entered it, it's already merged and all that. ClaimMD automatically starts creating a patient account number, which I just highlighted. So basically it's the patient's name and some numbers. And this is how I believe they integrate back and forth and know what claims are what. So, I mean, it's just the same as making any claim that you would make on Practice Better. Just make sure everything's filled in, the insurance information, down to the actual service. So say you did source someone for an hour, it'd be 4 units and the diagnosis code.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah, and just and if anybody's new to Practice Better, actually Christina and I did a presentation like this. It is in the coaching program section. It shows you guys how to create a claim. So that's why we're not showing you this here because we've already showed you guys that before.
Yeah, and then this, so I purposely put in the wrong payer ID here just to show you what's going to happen if, so we're kind of jumping ahead, but if it does not go through, what it looks like, and then we can also do it, I'll change that and it'll go through and we'll see what it looks like.
Cool.
But pretty much you hit save and exit. It's going to then, so this automatically opens up into my claims. So in Practice Better, to go to all your claims, you would hit my practice and then insurance claims tab. And then this pops up, which is completely different if it doesn't look like this and you don't even have this option if you do not have ClaimMD set up. This only starts to show once you've integrated and added that site key.
Perfect.
Then so usually I have a bunch of claims here in draft form. I like to select, you have to change the status, which I didn't know in the beginning, but you would hit that button to select all. And I then just would select them all. And then you have to hit this, sorry, I'm moving too fast. There's this other button that says update status. It's a little like checkbox mark, yes. And then from there, you would have to update it to ready to submit. And you update it. And then they're all gonna move over to your ready to submit tab. And from there, you would do select multiple, select them all and submit claim. And then it's saying your claim will be sent to ClaimMD for processing. And then now, since I put in the wrong payer ID, this is them scrubbing it automatically. I know right away that there's a problem.
Perfect.
So that's going to happen. And I have a feeling that it might show all of my rejected claims, which might
stop sharing and see.
Okay.
Yeah, so that way, no worries at all.
Okay.
No worries.
And then, you know what I could do because it's very easy to fix it too. Let me go back into the claim.
Yeah.
Like my profile. Because there's so many, it's funny because Practice Better has so many different ways of
Exactly. So does intake Q. Like
I
there's so
think,
many different ways to do it, access it, get it.
yeah.
And I'm constantly learning new ways. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know I could do it from here.
Yeah. So then, yeah, let me share again. Okay. So, I mean, it looks very similar in the other, like in the other screen as well, but this is just this person's exact profile. So this is the one that was rejected. You'll see it has a little red arrow, meaning rejected. I submitted one earlier today as a test, and you can see that the arrow is saying it was submitted. But basically, you would then very easily hit edit, and it just brings you back to it to submit again, and you change the payer ID. So now this is the correct payer ID. I'm going to hit save and exit. And then you can update this. You can go back to how I showed you to update the
Oh,
status.
perfect.
So you could just update the status right in the file if you're doing one claim at a time. So it automatically updated it to rejected. Actually, when when it's rejected, you can, if you're in the other screen, the rejected screen, you could just hit submit and it'll automatically submit it. But for this one, since we're not over there, we'll go back to ready to submit. And then I can hit, oh, then I have to go back to over here, I guess. I don't really work. Sorry. So it's in the ready to submit, and then I'm just going to hit submit for it, and then it goes through.
Perfect. Super easy. And so and you may not be, you can't show us this, but in terms of correcting a claim, so what we just did was the claim didn't hit the insurance company. Practice Better and Claim MD told us before, they told us before it went there. In your experience, is there a way to describe like how you would correct a claim that got to the insurance company and got rejected?
Yeah, so I actually screenshotted a claim just to show you what it looks
Awesome.
like. Did my screen change to the screenshot?
Not yet. No, it just says no claims found. You might have to unshare and then,
Okay.
or I can try to do it. Perfect. Yeah, great.
Okay. So I just screenshotted this.
Yeah,
but
awesome.
I blocked out the person's information. But basically, you're going to have a tab. This is what if you go to My Practice Claims, this is the housing of all your claims. And you can, on the left-hand side, select what you want to see. Like I could see all my paid claims. I can see my submitted, my draft, my ready to submit, or my rejected. So this one I sorted by just a specific claim by one provider that was rejected back in March.
Cool.
That I haven't fixed yet, I guess. Or maybe it just came through. I'm not sure. But basically, this is what this is what it's going to look like. Then you could click, when you click view, it's going to open this little tab on the right-hand side that is showing you a drop down, and it's going to scroll and show you everything that's wrong. So this is the first part. And then I took a screenshot of scrolling down a little bit.
Oh, perfect.
So you can see that you can actually see like the check, like what was paid to me from these claims, because there was a bunch of claims submitted. And then this one of those claims was denied, showing on the ERA. So this one is specific. They'll show you the message history, and they'll show you like, oh, accepted and processed and this and that, and each date that things happened. And then the one in red is the actual denial or problem with the claim. So this is saying payment denied, reduced for absence of pre-certification. So this is a weird one, but if it was something simple like I used the wrong place of service or I used the wrong modifier, it would say something about that. And you would very easily click these 3 buttons on the actual claim, and you would edit it, and the whole claim would pop up. And at the bottom, it would already say the code. What's the code for resubmission?
7.
Yeah, so it'll already have that entered in, and it'll already have the claim number entered in as well. So
Perfect.
you literally just have to go in and change like, oh, I used modifier 12. I should have used modifier 95 for telehealth, and do that and resubmit.
Perfect. And like how do you feel about that versus like an office ally? You guys would have to have the EOB. So this is so much easier, right? Because if you had
Yeah,
yeah,
I would have to actually find the claim number and copy it, pull it over to the claim, enter it in and do that whole thing.
awesome, awesome, awesome. And then while you can't really show us the reconciliation process, like what has been your experience? So like when you go into, so when I say reconciliation, so one of the things that Office Ally did not do before with Practice Better is it didn't talk back to Practice Better. So, right, you would submit your claims, you would have to manage those externally. Are you seeing it pretty swiftly updated in Practice Better? Like when you're paid or when something is
Oh,
rejected?
yeah, it's automatic. As soon as the claim MD gets the ERA, the claim back or the rejection back, it automatically is updating it in Practice Better.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
And it'll tell you, there'll be a drop in this similar screen, but when it says
Sure.
paid, it'll tell you the claim amount, how much was paid, patient responsibility, all that.
Mm-hmm. And then we were talking before we started recording a little bit about copays. So I know for me in the beginning of my career, I was so it's like overwhelmed by how to know about copays and deductibles. And then the reality is what I learned is that the EOB will show that. So I think you were mentioning that it's pretty seamless in terms of knowing if there is a patient responsibility. It would probably be similar on this screen, right? Somewhere.
Yeah, it would be, it looks a little different, like the top items that are listed out, but
Oh
it'll,
yeah, it would say
well,
client
actually, no, it would say
responsibility.
client responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it very easily just says client responsibility, and you can actually click on these three buttons on the right-hand side and click create invoice, and it'll make the invoice for you right there, and you can send it out. Or if you have a credit card on file, bill it right away,
Awesome.
which is a
Awesome.
lot easier because I feel like even in Office Ally, like looking at that, like the way that they have the screen made, like it's so like hard to see. And then you're like, is there a copay? I can't tell. This
Yeah.
makes it super easy to know, like, yes, they have a copay.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, this is any like final words or wisdom that you wanna add to this, or like it sounds like as a whole, like how would you rate it on a letter scale? How would you
On a, like a like like ABC.
Yeah, like I always give stuff like if I go out to dinner, I'm like, that was like a B plus. Like what, you know what I mean? Like how would
I would give it an A, not an A plus, but an A, because there's just like you can actually run a report like similar to your other reports you can run in Practice Better. There is a claim report that will show you what's been paid and what hasn't been paid.
Mhm.
The one thing it does not show is client responsibility in that
Yeah.
report. So that's the one thing I did like submit a ticket and was like, maybe you should add that in because that would be super helpful for just reconciling things. Cause like, I get a lot of claims coming in. I can't actually scroll through this screen and look at every single claim that got paid this way.
Yeah.
The report is more helpful.
Yeah. And like
Hey.
can you pull like aging reports and like see like I don't know if you've played around with it, but how are the reports functions as a whole, or is that not something that is super important to you?
I haven't played around with it as much, but I know specifically going into Claim MD, they have a lot of reports that you
Cool.
can do that are a lot better. Like, I don't even know if Office Ally has any reports.
I
But,
don't
but,
The
but
reports are my spreadsheet, like whatever I manually entered in on my spreadsheet. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but Claim MD has a lot of different reports that you can run that makes things like that, like you're saying, like not paid aging claims and all that super simple. So there's the whole Claim MD side, their
Yeah.
website. There's a lot of extra things you can do on there if you want to.
Yeah. That's
I
awesome.
haven't been using it I've only been using it for a couple of months, so I'm not like at the point where I'm looking at
Oh,
the,
absolutely. I like for the, yeah.
I'm still like,
I feel like
like
for the first
December.
12 months, I'm like learning how to use the EMR, that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you got to walk before you can run. I didn't start pulling reports in intake queue probably for like year and a half, you know what I mean? Because we were still trying to figure out how to be efficient and do all of the things. No, so you are by no means, I just didn't know. And I'll be honest with you, I think like 99% of most dietitians don't even know there's reports that can be run. You know what I mean? So cool. So, well, awesome. Well, I'm gonna stop recording, but this was so helpful. And I'm so excited. I'll put you guys I will load this up in both the membership and in the group coaching program. I'll put my code down below if you guys want to try it out. And I think it's a win, man. I'm like really excited. Hold on,
Yep.
but you don't go anywhere. I'm just gonna stop.